Now, every Friday, I do a cool, fun, or collectible car here on the channel. And I get access to these cars from a friend of mine. He's got a small boutique dealership here in Vancouver called Core Motor Cars. So it's been great getting a chance to drive some wonderful machines. And every time I go in to pick up a car, I always ask the owner what's going on with the market. And he keeps telling me that Porsche prices keep on going up and up and up. There is a COVID effect. What happened when COVID-19 hit? A lot of people with high incomes were looking for something to do. They couldn't vacation, they couldn't go overseas, so they decided to do projects on their home and maybe buy a fun, cool, or collectible car. Now we're seeing that with a lot of brands, but we're seeing it specifically with 911s. And I'm going to focus on the 997.2. That's what this is. The 997 was the last of the Porsche 911s that had the shorter wheelbase. The 991 that came after this, the wheelbase was a full 10 centimeters longer. So a lot of enthusiasts have keyed in on this generation of Porsche as maybe the last of the true essence of what a small compact 911 was meant to be. So about 6 months ago, I did a video on the 997.2 and I said prices are going up, and I encourage you to click on the card here. But even in the 6 months since I did that video, prices have gone up again. There's people, as I mentioned, who have money, are not traveling, looking for something fun to drive, and this is where they're parking their money. So this is the 997.2. It's a Cabriolet Carrera 2. I'll get in and I'll tell you that this isn't just affecting specific 911s, it's affecting all of them. So as I mentioned, the 997.2, and it's called that because they had a major update, and that included a new direct injection engine, which this car has. Also, they updated the communication system to include things like Bluetooth. Can you believe it took until 2009 for that to happen? So this car definitely qualifies, but it's the tidier dimensions of the 997.2 with all those upgrades that really is quite sought after. Now, one thing that I found out speaking to the owner of Core Cars here in Vancouver is that ever since COVID hit, convertibles have been really highly sought after. Now, if you follow the Porsche world, most of the time it's the coupes that enthusiasts lean towards. But I'm sure there's a lot of discussions in families talking about a car that is a good all-rounder for everybody in the family to drive, meaning maybe the husband wants a coupe, the wife wants a convertible, maybe he wants a manual, she wants an automatic, and you kind of land on this car because it ticks a lot of those boxes. He gets a 911, she gets a convertible, everybody's happy. And as people aren't traveling, they're putting their money into things they can actually enjoy every single day. So the COVID effect is affecting coupes and convertibles, but convertibles have now started to catch up to the popularity of coupes. Now, the one we're sitting in here is a 2010, has only 50,000 kilometers on it. It's basalt black on the outside. It has the upgraded 19-inch Turbo 2 wheels. I like those. It's got the dynamic lighting package, park assist. It's got the Sport Chrono package, which is something you're going to want to get. That adds in the adaptive suspension and also adds the Sport and Sport Plus settings. And this car also has the hardback sport seats, which are definitely sought after. So a nicely equipped car, kind of what I would want. Now, ever since Porsche's PDK or dual clutch transmission was introduced, sales have absolutely skyrocketed. So a dual clutch transmission is basically a manual transmission electronically controlled. So you get lightning quick shifts, and that's why that Sport Chrono button is important, because when you activate that, it opens up the parameters of this car and gives you lightning quick shifts. So when these cars were sold new, the vast majority, and it's still the case today, are sold with this PDK. However, see how quick that is? I'll turn that off. However, enthusiasts, as cars start to age, are often looking for manual transmissions. Well, there's so few sold new, they're really hard to find used. So another factor in this whole COVID 997 market evaluation is that PDK transmission cars, or the automatic equipped cars, are really sought after as well. People aren't really holding out for a manual. They're like, I looked for a manual, I couldn't find a manual, but the market is changing so quickly, I'd be smart to get a PDK, and then if one pops up, I might trade in and get it. This is going to be the car for now. Another thing that's happening is the popularity of the Porsche brand. Now that was happening before COVID-19. But now it's accelerated because there are a sizable number of people who make good money and have maybe always thought about buying a Porsche, and because of COVID, and as I mentioned, they're restless, they've decided now is the time to jump in and grab a sports car, a convertible, a coupe, a turbo, a Boxster, whatever it is, for the very first time. And because of that, there's more buyers than there are cars, and that's pushing the prices up as well. So is this market situation we have right now, very popular cars, limited numbers, prices going up, and buyers not able to dictate exactly what they want? Well, I don't think it's going to last forever, but it's not going to abate anytime soon. We're still in COVID-19. It isn't all over yet. We're getting to the end, but I suspect that as production numbers start to ramp up in Stuttgart for brand new models, that might alleviate the situation. But the popularity of the Porsche brand isn't waning, it's only growing. So there's more eyeballs on these cars. If you see a good one and the price looks reasonable and you get it checked out and it's mechanically sound, my advice is to jump, not to wait. Because you know what? 6 weeks might go by, you might find another one, and the price is higher. So one piece of advice that I learned having owned 2 older 911s is, if you sit and wait for the perfect car, the perfect transmission, the roof, the engine, and then you want to add on top the absolute must-have color, often you can wait and the market will continue to get out of hand. So I say buy the car, not the color. You will learn to love the color, unless it's a color you just can't possibly stomach. But most of these cars are sold in neutral colors, so buy the car, not the color. That's my advice from me to you. So once again, thanks to Core Motor Cars here in Vancouver. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's been a bit of an education on what's going on out there with the COVID effect, the Porsche effect, and we do these cool, fun, or collectible cars every Friday on the channel, so please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next Friday.